I am Hasib. That is Pete. And we're here to talk about the movie Dungeons and Dragons,
Mm-hmm.
Honor Amongst Thieves.
I'm a monkey.
Pete, I jumped the gun and took the intro away from you. So
It,
speak your piece, bro. How do you feel?
nah, it's cool. It's cool. Okay, here's the thing. I did like it. I actually enjoyed it. I'm not the gamer type. So when they said this movie was coming out, I was skeptical, but at the same time, because it was introduced to me, honestly, the first time I heard about that movie was from The Big Bang Theory. Okay. I'm not a gamer. My little brother was a gamer when he was in high school, but then he kind of gave it up. And I guess that's the most experience I've had with like playing games. Now, I did grow up with the Nintendo, and whatever. I think most of us did Mario Buzz and all that stuff. So I can't wait for that movie to come out.
Yo, I
But
played
either way,
Atari, man. I go back.
really? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I played
don't.
Atari when I was a kid. Yeah. I mean, I eventually graduated to Nintendo and Super Nintendo, but when I was like 5 or 6, I played Atari.
I see. I just heard about that one recently because the whole being a gamer thing, it was never a thing that I do very much. I was always I guess I was an 80s baby, so we actually went out and played instead of playing the games
I was
instead.
an 80s baby too. I went out and played and I had
I mean,
Atari.
you have to be interested in it, I guess. I wasn't really into playing games with the TV as opposed to actually being in the game. But yeah, but when I did hear about the movie, I was actually somewhat excited when they said Chris Pine was in it. So it was a somewhat of a familiar cast, and I guess they did deliver because I did enjoy the movie very much. I had I had a blast watching it. Now I had my iffy little things in it. We'll talk about it in a second. But overall, I did enjoy the movie. Who would have thought I would have enjoyed a Dungeon and Dragon movie, D&D, like the experts say. But how about you? What was your reaction to it? Your initial reaction?
I thought it was fun, man. It was a surprisingly fun movie. Look, I like you, not much of a D&D guy. I did play it a couple of times because I was cool with people who were into D&D, but it was more of a passing thing for me. It was just like, oh, all right, I'll join you guys. But I wasn't really anticipating this movie because usually games that get turned into movies are pretty awful. They have a bad track record.
Yeah, that was my
Uh,
apprehension.
yeah, but that's starting to turn around this year, I think, right? Or the
It,
last
it
year and
did.
a
It
half.
did. It did because at least two or three other movies from games came out. Last of Us, I didn't realize it was gonna be so good because what happens is the series came out, people started talking about it, and then I was like, oh, cool. I mean, I haven't heard about that. It's like, oh yeah, it's from a game. I'm like, never mind. So I didn't watch it until people kept talking about how good the story itself was. I went on HBO Max and binged it, and I'm like, okay, they were right. This was a very good series. So I appreciated it. So yeah, the games are turning things around a little bit.
Yeah, man. Like, I had a lot of fun. You know, the same directors and writers that did Game Night did this movie, and if you enjoy Game Night, then you're gonna like this because it's the same vibe.
Yeah,
It's just a bunch of people hanging around. They get into hijinks, something crazy things happen, and they figure it out. It's fun.
yeah, that was good. I did appreciate it. I mean, as far as that goes, now, do you have a favorite part? I mean, given that I mean, you were a little more familiar with the game. I have no point of reference,
I'm
but
a tiny bit more familiar
I
with
do.
the. My favorite part. There's a cameo in this movie,
Mm.
and I'm not. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what the cameo is. But when it happened, I was like, wait, what? They got this guy to be in the movie? What's happening?
Mm.
And it turned out that part of the movie was really like really emotional and kind of set the foundation for Michelle Rodriguez's character. So yeah, I mean, I would probably say that scene was my favorite. Either that scene or the Underdark scene where they go into, I guess, one of the dungeons, I guess, or the caverns,
Mm.
to find the helmet and a fat dragon comes out of nowhere and starts eating up a bunch of people. It's yeah, I enjoyed that scene as well. How about you?
I have to say, I don't know if I have a favorite scene. I did enjoy the movie quite a bit. I don't know if I have a favorite scene per se, but I did enjoy I mean, the action scene. The fact that Rodriguez had so much action scene sort of shows a lot of what she can do outside of the Fast and the Furious franchise. I thought it was actually pretty nice that she had all these other things, like all these both emotional and physical ways of really expressing what she can do. So I appreciate that, a little more than the okay, an actual scene. Again, I guess because of no point of reference, nothing to really say. Because if you're watching something familiar, you say, "Oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yeah, I remember that." Or the familiarity. But as far as that goes, I watched it mainly based on a non-judgmental eye, just to hopefully enjoy it, and I did. So favorite, I wouldn't say there's a specific favorite for me, but I did enjoy the movie overall. The way it was both in writing and in a performance for the actors. So that was pretty good. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Is there something you didn't like?
The CGI.
Yeah.
Too much. I think the movie works really well as a comedy or a family drama slash comedy, I
Mhm.
guess. Um, but the action scenes, well, other than the practical action scenes, like when there's like hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that, those are fine. I thought those were good actually. Like Michelle Rodriguez carried those scenes whenever she had to.
Yeah.
But whenever there was scenes where there was a lot of CGI happening, I was just like, what? Not into this.
Yeah.
I it might be the fact that I'm going through John Wick withdrawal and there's a lot of practical stunts and fighting scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
It was literally just only a week ago.
Yeah.
So I
That's true.
might be going through some John Wick withdrawal, but I just saw all the CGI movie and I'm just like, yo, I'm good. I'm
Now I feel you,
fine.
and it's not you because I feel the same way as far as the CGI goes. I didn't really care so much for it. For the most part, it was okay, but I thought they could have done a better job. But it was a lot more than I expected for this album because you have locations that can really portray a set that can really give you what you need, but they sort of went well. I don't want to say the lazy way because it is a whole other medium that needs to make money as well. But I think they could have done a little less CGI and a little more natural for the sets and all that stuff. But again, when you got the money, you got the money because CGI doesn't cost cheap. It's
No, it's not
but
cheap at all, man.
so I mean, they had a good budget and they really delivered. And I think for me, yeah, other than the fact that the CGI was a bit much, I liked Chris Pine in the leading role, not only because he's a good actor, but he is naturally funny, and we don't notice that sometimes. His delivery and his timing are very good, and it sort of helps a lot with the whole thing. I mean, especially for someone who knows this is a game but never really actually played the game. The comedic timing was fantastic, and I thought it was pretty good. Um,
Totally agree. Chris Pine was really good in this movie, man. He's a naturally charismatic actor. Whenever you see him in a movie, you kind of root for him.
yeah.
And yeah, he's got the quick wits about him, man. He knows how
Yep.
to deliver those comedic lines, man. I really appreciated him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But now overall, I mean, what was this? Are we talking about our MVPs?
If I had to pick an MVP, I would probably have to go with it's probably Chris Pine, but we just talked about him, so I'm gonna go with Hugh Grant.
Mhm.
Hugh Grant been playing the same role the last couple movies, in my opinion, as this really charming villain,
Yeah.
and he's been doing really well with it, man.
Yeah.
Last time he played a really charming villain was last Guy Ritchie movie with Statham and Aubrey Plaza. Plays the same role here.
Yeah.
Really, really dug his performance. He, just like Chris Pine, very charismatic. You could just carry the movie on his vibes, man. He was terrific in this movie. How about you, bro?
Um, for me, I'll go with Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez, because again, that woman, she's showed what she's got, but most people only know her for the Fast and Furious movies. And it was good to see her in a different setting, doing something different other than just drive cars and act like she's mad at Toretto. You know what I'm saying? So it was good to see her in a different aspect, just kicking butt and just and the emotional scene she had. It sort of she delivered very well. So you can see that okay, yeah, she's not just it's not all about cars and family, but it is about actually trying to get the job done as well. So I thought that was pretty cool to have Jennifer, Michelle Rodriguez. She's my MVP for this one. She's
Yeah,
this.
man, she was an emotional rock of that movie, man.
Mhm.
I think without her, the movie doesn't work as well for sure.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, I think Michelle Rodriguez has so much potential, but because a lot of people haven't seen her. I mean, like the movies you mentioned earlier, Widow, and what was the other one? Um, uh, the other one during the pandemic. Those movies show a little more that as far as what she can deliver. So if people want to see her in other things, they should look it up and try to see her in other things because she can do a lot more than just what she's known for. And that's why I was so happy when I saw her in the cast. I couldn't wait, and she definitely didn't disappoint. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, what would you say for somebody who wants to who wants to decide whether or not they want to watch this movie in theater or wait for it on streaming?
Hmm. Um, I think somebody, I think you should watch this movie. I don't whether you watch a movie in the theater or on streaming. I guess it's depends on how often you go to the theaters, man. If you go liberally enough, I would go to watch this movie. But if you're more picky on when you want to go to the theater, I would wait till it comes out on streaming. Is it worth watching? Yeah, it is. It's if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, this movie has the same exact beats pretty much,
It
man.
really does. It really does.
And so if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, you'll enjoy this movie. It's not as good as Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is great, but this movie is pretty damn good and it follows the same beats. So you'll enjoy this if you enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I have this thing whenever a new version of a movie is coming out, I go watch the old one, like I did for John Wick. I just did that for Guardian of the Galaxy 2, watch the first one and the second one, even the Christmas one, I'll rewatch it again, just to really give you, okay, why do I want to watch this movie in theater? And it definitely gives you the boost to want to go watch that movie in theater. So yeah, so if you do enjoy the Guardian of the Galaxy, you will enjoy that because first of all, it is well casted with all these guys they really all deliver. I enjoy that, and the story was good, and you'll have a great time. I mean, whether or not you watch it in theater, like we said, it really is up to you. But I did enjoy the soundtrack. I like the soundtrack. Some movies I prefer to watch in the big screen. That's why I put it
Yo,
in theater in my house. But yes.
that Tame Impala song during the end credits.
Hmm.
I was like, what is this? This song is great. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised they were willing to do a song for a Dungeons and Dragons movie, but yo, that song is a banger.
I mean, if you're getting paid, honestly, if they tell you what the story is about, most singers would be okay with it. I mean, unless the story really contradict what they believe in, most of these singers, they'll go at it and get it done. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it though. I did. The soundtrack. I'm a big sucker for scoring and music in movies because that really brings out the essence of what you're trying to experience. And
Mhm.
they definitely did it for me. So if I was, if you are thinking about watching, whether or not you want to watch it all together, I'd say go ahead. It's definitely worth watching. Are we going to score
I would give it. I'm kind of wavering between a 3.5 and a 4. I think right now I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
it?
It's a fun movie, man.
It is. It definitely is.
Yeah.
Um,
I
again,
mean, look, you're not gonna get the meaning of life from this movie.
mm-mm,
But it's a Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's a movie about friendship.
yeah. But I'll also give it a 3.5, mainly because the thing is, I wanted to give it a 4. My apprehension, my issues with the whole with it is again the CGI. and the involvement of some of the characters. But other than that, it is a fun movie, very funny. Again, like he said, your life is not gonna change watching this movie. But if you do enjoy the game, you will enjoy that movie. That's for sure.
I also the last action scene was kind of meh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it had its moment. It had its moments.
Oh, it definitely has its moments, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So yeah, I'll definitely give it a 3.5 as well. So for once, we're on the same page on that one in the scoring department. Hey, don't worry. We'll come. There's another one I'm sure that's coming. We're gonna be apart again. But it's always good talking about these movies. Hopefully, the audience enjoys it just as much. If we forgot something to mention something, please let us know in the comments section, and then we'll go from there.